Hey everybody, welcome to this launch stream of Civilization 6 Rise and Fall. We're doing some multiplayer. You have not played much of this.
No.
Yeah. How about you introduce yourself for everybody?
Oh, yeah. Hey everybody. My name is Dan Cybert from ThatCybertChannel.
There we go.
The youtubes.com/ThatCybertChannel.
Wait, on your channel, the URL is ThatCybertChannel.
Yeah.
Good job on the kind of consistent but not totally consistent branding on that. To be fair, the original URL for my channel, like if you look at it, it's like Madrot567, which was just my old Gmail. But thankfully you can rename that now. Anyway, so you've played a couple hours of the game? Of like Civ 6 in general?
Yeah, so like I hopped on, I tried it out a little bit. I played a lot of Civ 5, was hoping some of that was going to translate over. And then like about, we were talking a little bit before, it's like a third of what I learned carried over.
Yeah, the rule of thirds with Civ games. I have almost 300 hours on this right now. I had something like 700 on Civ 5. God knows how much I had on Civ 4, because I only had a Steam copy for part of that time, so I probably totaled to over 1,000 on that. I was Immortal level player on 5. I sucked at 4, but still love it. And for this, I'd say I'm consistent on Emperor. And I've already practiced Rise and Fall a little bit as Mongolia, and that went well. I thought I'd play Poundmaker because it's the closest I'm gonna get to Canada ever being in a fucking Civ game. I'm bitter about it. I'm so goddamn bitter about it that Australia beat me to a Civ game. God damn it. You're playing as Germany because Germany is generally considered probably one of the best civs in the entire game. For single player at least, multiplayer he still rocks, but if it's like high-level competitive multiplayer, then it's always just shit who's good at military early game. You know, Scythia is pretty ridiculous in multiplayer. But yeah, you're doing Prince, I'm doing Emperor. I think we can just jump into this now.
I think we just go.
Yeah.
I think we just go for it. You know, run into the fire, head first. Just dive in.
You're actually going to have a decent advantage in that we're online, so where it's online speed, which is double the game speed of normal. You'll have a decent advantage there because the faster the game speed, the actually no, I guess I'd have more of an advantage, wouldn't I? It's iffy with all the changes. You see, usually, whoa, I loaded in fast. Usually in Civ games, the, let me tab out and tab in. It's not picking up my hotkeys. There we go. Usually in a Civ game, the faster the game speed, the less viable military is.
Yeah, because you don't have enough time to, you have to build as many units, right?
Well, because, you know, everything scales with the speed, except, oh god, I'm gonna change my strategy a little bit. Yeah, instead of an opening slinger, I'll do my opening unique scout. Strategy changes a little bit because the only thing that can't scale is unit movement. So, naturally, the slower the game speed, the more time you have to use an army before the units start to go out of date.
Got it. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so the faster the game speed, which this is online speed, because we're playing it online, we want to get a decent amount done today. The trade-off on that is military is a little bit less viable. It's still going to be important, for sure. It always is. But it's less viable entirely because you're going to have smaller windows of opportunity. Now, the Kree are very peaceful.
Okay.
Just double checking my bonus here since this is day one of Rise and Fall, so people might want a reminder here. My abilities.
No. So real quick before you start reading off that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start. Should I build? Do you usually build like a scout first or monument? Because I usually go straight to monument.
Monument's a very Civ 5 thing to start with. In Civ 6, I almost always open with a slinger, because I play on high difficulty and you need that slinger right away.
Right.
You could forego on your difficulty the early slinger, get it as your second unit instead, because you want to get a kill with a slinger early for the boost for archery. Because having early archers is very, very powerful, easy way to conquer a neighbor.
Yeah, I noticed that last night when I was playing. I was like, this archer is ridiculously powerful.
Yeah, archers are very good in early game. Just a couple warriors and archers will take over a city or two early on. And if you're going to conquer... Ancient Era is great for that because there is no Warmonger penalty in Ancient Era. Every time it goes up an era, Warmonger penalty goes up. So, the opening move, if you're on that difficulty, a builder is probably a nice opening because if you get 3, not only are tile upgrades obviously a good way to start, but 3 tile upgrades gets you the boost towards craftsmanship. Craftsmanship gives you a government policy card to produce melee units 50% faster in this era, which is very good for getting your units out early.
Got it. Okay, so I went with Builder.
Yeah,
My
Builder is
warriors are
a
gonna explore a
happy
little bit.
opening. Yeah, and try not to stray too far from home with your initial warrior, just because you never know when a scout appears. In fact, I just saw one. So, you as Germany, let's see if I can remember all of your bonuses off the top of my head, because Germany is probably my favorite team in this, either Germany or Russia. As Germany, all of your cities can have one more district per their population limit. So this is something that you probably haven't learned yet, is at 1 population, a city can have 1 district. At 4 population, it can have 2. At 7, it can have 3. Every time it gains 3 population, it can have another district. Yeah. Germany just always has 1 extra limit on that number, which is very powerful. I mean, you could lock cities at 4 population if you really wanted to, and have 3 districts, which is a crazy amount of districts for that many people. There's not much incentive to lock districts or cities that small unless you're really starved of amenities. In general, you want to blob out as much as possible. It's not like Civ 5, where in Civ 5, an optimal strategy that made the game insanely boring, and I did a whole video analyzing this, was build 3 cities and you win the game. In Civ 5, like, as soon as I started to realize there's no reason to ever go beyond 3 cities until your late game, it gets really fucking boring. I learned that one. I made a whole video on it called Civ 5 The Great Divide, where I talk about the divide in the older and newer fan bases and how I like 5, but the divide is there for a very real reason. It's not just old people bitching. There are serious difficulty scaling issues in Civilization 5.
Right. Yeah, no, even going from, like, I remember going from Prince to King when I was like, I think I'm comfortable with Prince, and then it immediately backfiring so hard on me because I was just not physically ready.
In 5, I had footage that I showed of me sandwiched between Genghis Khan and Alexander the Great. I had 3 cities, and my only military was a swordsman and an archer when they had guns, and they refused to ever declare war on me. Because the AI was so easy to manipulate. All you do is constantly bribe them to declare wars on each other. In Civ 5, it was really easy and cheap to do, especially when you have warmongers around you. And because
that is so scummy.
trades aren't public in that game, so they wouldn't, like, countries would just think, hey, everyone around me is an asshole and constantly declaring war on me. I think I just found you. Yeah, we're right next to each other. Holy shit.
Awesome.
Well, I'll be nice and not conquer you.
Oh, thank you, oh wise and powerful Lord.
I know, it's pretty forgiving of me to not conquer you right away. You can thank me later. Just, like, just send me money on PayPal. PayPal email address is Mah-Dry-Bread567. Good luck spelling that. I checked on Facebook back in high school. I think I was the only Mah-Dry alive.
Really?
It's not a name that's used anymore. It's like fucking ancient Gaelic.
All right, I am slowly but surely clearing out this barbarian encampment I stumbled upon.
It's very good to do that early. If anything, keep it around until you can get a slinger to get a dude dead with a slinger to get that boost for archery. If you kill 3 barbarians, and that's the boost towards bronze working, which is awesome.
I like the boost mechanic.
It's very fun. It's they call it active research, I believe, was like the theory behind it, and it's very fun. Oh, I forgot to turn on. Oh, right, I forget at the invention of pottery, the Kree get a free trade route. That's awesome. I can't send it out yet because I haven't discovered anyone's city, but I could send it to you
found
if
mine.
I
You
haven't
found
seen.
me.
I saw your border. I haven't seen your city. In fact, can't I just send you? I'll just send you a delegate.
There we go.
Yay! All right, I don't remember if delegates actually show. Yeah, I think delegates don't show capitals in this game. I think that was changed. Right. How do I wanna? I don't want to dot map this yet. God, it's weird changing my strategy bit by bit here because I'm like, oh, I have this really different early game unit, and I got to figure out like how do I want to incorporate that. Because normally I'd be doing a lot of warriors right now, but I'm doing scouts instead, which I usually wouldn't do a whole lot of. Tech boost to archery through a village. Right, I gotta get used to how it's not gonna show me a whole lot of pop-ups because it's multiplayer.
Right.
I'm gonna end up getting really lazy and skipping through things just by reflex of if it doesn't pop up, I shouldn't care.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, there's my city. Welcome.
Yep, and I've got a
rice.
trade route. I've got a trade route going to you, which is nice for the Kree because Kree trade routes start taking tiles. Was up to 3 tiles in any direction. As they walk, they conquer them, which is pretty fucking cool.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, pretty much the Kree have every ability I would have given Canada, which is really annoying. All right. Right. Why did I start moving a builder out here? I must have thought it was a warrior because the club by reflex. Because again, I'm truly trying to read the chat and.
Yeah, I know.
I'm the worst.
Same here. Whenever I do multiplayer, I try my best to read chat, but eventually I get too involved.
Yeah, this is why usually if I have a game that I have to pay very close attention to, I have a chat liaison to help, or they just pass on messages from the chat for me. However, with this, I wanted to keep the conversation mostly to us just talking about strategy, teaching you the game and everything.
Yeah, I'm irrigation. I'm doing that one.
Irrigation tech? You already have the boost for that because of the rice, right?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. I see you also have a quarry, you have a diamond mine, you have horses. You have a lot of boosts on your hand right now.
Yeah.
You don't happen to have 2 water-based resources, do you? Because I can just see the crabs.
There's pearls really close to me as well.
Okay, you want to start pumping out those builders then, because 2 fishing boats, that's a boost. A pasture on the horses, that's a boost. Mining a luxury resource, that's a boost. Making a quarry, that's a boost. Getting 3 tile upgrades, that's a boost. You have
a booster.
Like if you have a really nice opening, you can just have all of your early game tech boosted. Like one thing you really want to aim for in like just that beautiful early game run is if you can pull off getting a boost in craftsmanship, foreign trade, state workforce, early empire, and political philosophy. Because that's a boost to everything to and including a political philosophy, which is how you get your first proper governments.
Right, yeah.
So if you can pull that off, that's really nice.
Boom. Oh, there's a rumor that you already have a Pantheon god.
Yes, I just picked my Pantheon. I went Divine Spark, which is a very, very safe one.
That was the one I picked when I was messing around.
That's kind of the ultimate jack of all trades Pantheon. Unless you have like a really nice opener for something. Oh, and unlike Civ 5, your Pantheon is not replaced if a different religion takes you over. You always have your Pantheon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Sorry, just making hard decisions here. I don't have anyone to kill nearby, and I don't want to kill you.
Please don't kill me. This will be a really short stream.
Yeah, it'd be really awful if you got knocked out early.
Cool. So I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna go drink for the rest of the day.
Oh, I've met the Scythian Empire. That's not fun, because they're very aggressive.
Are they over near me too?
They're a weird one. They hate betrayals. They are basically, in terms of their diplomacy, they are Russia from Civ 5. In that they are intensely loyal, but if you betray them ever, they'll remember it the whole game.
Right.
Their whole thing is they don't like surprise wars and any kind of backstabbing. And that the whole way that fits in, the whole doesn't like surprise wars, is Tomyris was the person who killed Cyrus of Persia. Cyrus of Persia has a bonus to surprise wars. They're kind of mortal enemies.
Got it.
Trade delegation, I'll agree to that. So diplomacy works in a more sane way in this game in terms of, okay, let me dot map a little. In terms of, how do I put it? It's more sane in terms of you can't suddenly make somebody like you. You can make somebody like you over time. When you look at a diplomacy screen with somebody, it will say, it'll say that you have these pluses and minuses towards a relationship bonus or detriment with them. That is not your final number. You can't see your final number. That's how many points of relationship you're getting or losing with them per turn. It builds and subtracts over the years. You're building a long-term relationship with the different leaders in the game. It's one of those things it doesn't teach you. Players just figured out, but I think is really, really nice. It adds a lot of depth to the game.
I also kind of like the fact that, and maybe I just never found it in Civ 5, but they actually let you know that, hey, these are like their values of being, so you know like what you should and shouldn't be doing around them.
Yeah, normally it wouldn't tell you that, but this is, in Civ 6, that's a big mechanic of the game, is, you know what? Yeah, stay there. Big mechanic of the game is that every single leader has a built-in thing that they care about, like a built-in value, and then they have a second one called the hidden agenda, which is randomized every game of another thing they care about. So, you know, Tomyris is intensely loyal. She hates surprise wars. She's all about honor. You are Frederick Barbarossa of the Holy Roman Empire. He hates people who become the suzerain of city-states because he wants to conquer them and assimilate them. The Kree, I don't know. He's new, so I don't know what his values are.
He's just a dude.
I assume it's something about liking people who have long-term alliances, because that's kind of his thing. Or perhaps people who focus on trade. And some of these are very in-depth and a lot of fun. The Japanese, they like if you have a big military, but only if you also have a lot of culture and faith.
Yeah, I noticed that when I was playing yesterday. I ran into him, like, so I have to have a strong faith, cultural, and militaristic, like, city.
Actually, he doesn't mind if you don't have much military. He doesn't have a strong opinion on that. He just thinks that if you have a large military, you should also have faith and culture, because otherwise he thinks you have no honor. And you're basically as good as barbarians. Isn't that really interesting?
That's really, man.
Like, he just thinks of you as a barbarian, and he needs to put you down. And then he'll get aggressive towards you. And he actually has a pretty scary military most of the time. He really values those, whereas his science tends to take a back seat.
Interesting. Well, that was funny, too, because I ran into Korea, who wanted high science.
I imagine that's probably what they'd be, is like Navy and science. They're new, so I haven't run into them yet, but I know they're all about science and Navy in these games.
Yeah. All right. I'm making some good oh, hey. Oh.
Yeah.
Hey, there's some dudes right outside your place, and they look upset.
So you'll notice that they're barbarian horsemen. That's because the barbarian encampment is near a horse pasture.
Oh, no.
So they actually, like, can use nearby resources when deciding what units will come from it. So we definitely need to take care of that. That's a bit of a problem, which I'm currently working on figuring out how I want to deal with that situation. I don't have bronze working. I don't even have mining. I've been neglecting that a little bit. Ooh, that's a lot of them down there, actually.
Yeah, there's 3 of them. My scout's like he's toast no matter how I kind of.
Yeah, you're probably actually just if you run up through my border and behind my guy, then your guy won't die. My scouts have like that's the icon for my scout. I have unique scout. He has extra combat strength.
Okay.
And then you can use that to kind of back out of there.
Yeah, there we go. Let's see here.
By the way, expanding overseas is easier and more lucrative than it has ever been in a Civ game. So I really recommend like making colonies, because there is a mid-game civic called Colonialism, and it has a fantastic economic policy, colonial taxes. Every single city that is outside of the home continent gets 25% more income. That is very powerful.
Okay.
Right, so I never read off to everybody what my bonuses are as the crew.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I distracted you with teach me!
So, favorable terms. All alliance types provide shared visibility, which is really interesting. Alliance types are new, by the way. It used to just be, like, a defensive alliance. Now there's like different types of them that work towards different goals. Your trade rates grant +1 food for pound maker per camp or pasture in the receiving city. Trade rates grant +1 gold for pound makers per camp or pasture in the receiving city as well. And then he also has, him as a leader has the ability of +1 trade route capacity and a free trade, a trader when you have pottery research, so very, very early. And as my traders walk across unclaimed tiles within 3 tiles of one of my cities, I claim them. My unique unit is that scout. My unique building, like I have a unique tile improvement. Trying to remember exactly what it does. I believe it's like it gets bonuses by nearby resources, and at base it gives you, I want to say, a little production and housing.
My dude just got wrecked.
Yeah, they actually outmaneuvered me there.
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna fall back to the city. The one time I don't spam out a bunch of warriors because I got these new units and everything, and of course it bites me. Not a big deal.
I think I'm gonna go bronze working to get those spearmen so we can start killing them.
Yeah. Normally I rarely start going into spearmen. I just so rarely find I'm fighting horse units. But in this case, it really wouldn't be a bad idea. Interesting point. Every single encampment in early game is defended by a spearman, which means that as great as horsemen are, they have a hard time taking out barbarian encampments.
Yeah.
Until you're like late game and stuff, then you might have like musketeers or something.
All right. I have my first settler running out to go start another city.
Yeah, I've got one going out as well. Chat, by the way, if you have any questions about how to play the game or anything, just let me know, and I'm gonna, if I see your question, I'll try my best to help you out. This is gonna be a little bit less of a chat interaction stream for everybody, more of a educational stream.
Yeah,
God,
and I'm going to be silent most of the time because I'm learning.
Yeah. Oh, they added olives to the game. That's cool.
Oh, dude. This barbarian scout's about to get riggedy wrecked.
All right, I'm going to be able to push back very soon.
Yeah. Oh, God, there's another... Oh, boy. I don't know where you're going to settle. I don't want to settle so close to your border, but I don't really
we don't have a whole lot of choice. I'm settling east mostly to give you a little bit of room. I do recommend you move north and eat up those, like the ivory, the jade, the pearls. You actually have some nice land up in there. There's a little bit of desert, which isn't the most appealing, but there is also fresh water there, which is nice. Settling on freshwater is an immediate 3 permanent bonus to housing.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
That's a mechanic I'm still trying to get used to, is the...
Housing?
Housing, yeah.
Yeah. Housing, I'm probably going to lose my trader out here due to the barbarians. Yep, they conquered it. Not the hugest deal in the world. It was just getting me a little gold. So I was asked earlier, what does my trader out do for you? Nothing. My trader gives you a road to me, but for the most part, at this point in the game, it really wouldn't give him anything. It mostly just has a road between us for quicker travel in the area. Gets me a little bit of gold because it's foreign trade. In general, domestic trade is almost always better than foreign trade. Foreign trade will get you gold, domestic trade will get you production and food, which is so important for growing a city. But later you'll get government policies that help more. So he gets a terrible deal? No, it's just that he gets nothing out of it. That's the thing, is like it doesn't hurt him in any way.
Oh no, and I mean soon enough I'll be able to make my own trade route with you and get the same thing. Matter of fact, that's exactly what I'm about to do.
Now something that's probably new for you is you don't build roads. Trade routes automatically make roads as they walk, which is realistic if anything.
Yeah, I like that a lot more.
Yeah, you get very natural road patterns, and it's a lot less wasting your time.
Okay, let's see, and then I'm gonna go build a mine.
Yeah, you could probably use the early production.
Yeah.
This reminds me of Empire Earth and Red Alert 2, says Josh. Well, I mean, those are RTSs, but I can see what might seem similar.
Yeah, a lot of people are comparing this to Risk, and I'm like, I mean,
not
in a
at
way.
all. A war occurs. There's a world.
Yeah, and
that's close
you
enough.
Move stuff.
Yeah, things move. Fights occur.
That's the important one. I think that's the real big, big one here. I guess I'm just gonna do another settler. Just keep globbing out.
Yeah, again, it's very much the antithesis of 5, where you pretty much need to build tall. In Civ 6, it's never a bad idea to go wide and just eat up as much land as you can. It is always going to be an advantage to have tons of land. Even if it's not even the best of quality, you can get a lot out of it.
Yeah, I just realized I don't know where your city is, so I can't send anything yet.
You haven't actually seen the core of the city? You're allowed to walk in my borders. We're early enough in the game that you can't even like sign an open borders tree, so you can just walk in people's borders.
Yeah, I'm gonna come over and say hi. Maybe like high five a couple times. You know,
I got a few weak barbarians, like almost dead barbarians in here, so don't worry too much. I'm sure your scout will live.
It'll be all right. Oh my god, it's already ending. Okay. Let's start taking out this barbarian encampment.
All right, the barbarians in my land are dead.
All right, I need you to move to here. Okay.
Jetstream says, I believe this game is more like Diablo 2 or maybe Metal Gear Solid 5. I love the joke of saying that the games are like ones that they're absolutely nothing like. There's been a long-running joke in the community of my friend Mileria. She came into a few strategy games and she barely plays strategy games, but she really likes Age of Empires 2. So she'd just show up to strategy games completely unrelated and be like, this reminds me of Age of Empires 2. And it became a meme in the community where now, like, she'll just show up to, like, any fucking game, like a first-person shooter. This reminds me of Age of Empires 2. And people just show up if they don't know the game. Hey, is this, like, modded Age of Empires 2 or something?
I love that. All right. And that is a dead barbarian encampment. I also, we're about to end this particular age, and I'm at 5.
Yep.
I don't know about you.
I'm well into normal age, so I'll get through it fairly unscathed. No way I'm getting a golden age on this one. But don't worry about it. When I played my first match on Rise and Fall, I said Rise of Nations, which is also a fantastic game.
Right.
When I played my first match as Mongolia earlier, I got a Dark Age on going into Classical as well, because I didn't really know, like, what are you supposed to aim for that actually gets you the age points, because now we have the history timeline, which gives me score. So, like, I got some for settling, which you can't not do. So, what was it? I found some natural wonders that helped. I won some fights, upgraded a bit, that helped. Finding natural wonders early on really helps. So I think the fact 100%. That I have unique scouts really helped me.
AJ from Fanatics 4 says the real question is, how close is this to Pokemon?
Not very, AJ. We were on a podcast. We were on Bob's podcast together once.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think it might be one of the only times that I've ever guested on like a talk show thing that another person did, and not been bombarded with comments that say that I'm really, really annoying. I don't know why it is, because on my channel I never get told I'm annoying, and that's the thing is like I get tons of people who watch who are not subscribers because I have I have that video's like 2 or 3 million views or whatever, and. Never once have I been called annoying on my channel in all of these years, as far as I can remember, and yet, like, without fail, I always get called annoying on other ones. It's like, how does that occur? Like, I don't care, like, whatever, my personality's not for everyone, it's cool, but what I think is so weird is, like, how does this never happen on my channel, but always happens on every other channel? Like, what the fuck are the chances?
Yeah, I mean, when you start doing YouTube and like just this sort of stuff, you get a thick skin real fast.
I don't know, you say that, but so many people are really insecure and whiny after years and years and years of doing shit online. And I can't explain why that happens, because I got a thick skin fast. But so many people I've seen just whine and complain and get so hurt by strangers on the internet.
Huh.
I don't even know what it is. Because at first I thought is like, are these people who like haven't had real hardship? But like some of these people I know for a fact have almost gone bankrupt and stuff. And it's like, no, they've had real shit happen. So why is it when shit that doesn't matter happens, they still care? I don't know.
It's a real.
I don't get it.
Man.
I just don't get it.
I mean, a lot of it could, goes into like, man, how do you even phrase? There's always the, mental illness is always a shitty thing.
Yeah, and it is very clear that online jobs attract people with mental illness because it's more accessible.
Yeah. All right, and then you, sir, you skip a turn. Okay. I settled the city, and I'm still screwed. I'm going into a dark age real hard.
I'll be fine.
Oh, well, good. I'm glad you're gonna be all right.
I'm happy that I could put your heart at ease.
Yeah. I was really concerned, worried.
Yeah, I know you deeply care.
Is he gonna be okay?
Yeah.
'Cause I don't know if I'm gonna be okay.
I know it's what you were worrying about. Alright, yeah, I went normal age. That's fine with me. I was pretty far off of a golden age. And it looks like you and Tamiris both went dark age.
Yeah, let's see here.
Now, when you're in a dark age, you can pick some special government policies. However, they all have a drawback to them.
Oh, yeah. I got a few of those last game.
Yeah.
Let's see. Am I going to be getting a lot more... It's a question of doing Inspiration or Eureka.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be building a lot of districts in this age, I think. So I'm gonna go with the districts.
Yeah, in general, I think Monumentality is a solid one. I'm gonna go Free Inquiry just because I am so I understand the boosts really well and I have a lot memorized. So I feel fairly confident that I could squeeze out a lot of boosts to get extra points towards hopefully a golden age.
Yeah, let's see. I don't know where to set up my next city though. I don't know if I want to go south or east.
Oh, right, and I got my first governor now. So this is a new mechanic, everybody, so I'll just show this off to you. Kind of like how often you would get envoys along with your technology, or more often civics. In fact, I think entirely civics. You will sometimes get a governor now, depending on the technology. These are the governors of the game. Each one has their own promotion tree. Every time you have a governor title, you can either appoint a new one or upgrade one that you already have. You garrison them in cities. So each one, there's the military-focused one. The diplomat is all about loyalty and getting city-states on your side. The cardinal's the religious one. The steward is weird things with helping build cities. It's more so helping develop a large city, I guess. The surveyor helps with growing a new city as well as some tourism stuff. The educator helps with science and culture, and the financier helps mostly with making money. I don't know, like, there's not a metagame for this yet because the expansion's been out for 1 day, but I think a decent opening move is the steward, because early on he gets a promotion to give you extra food, and that would help for growing a city early.
Which one did you do, steward?
Yeah, I'm opening with the steward. I feel like he's a safe early choice.
I did the educator.
He would also be pretty good. They both have very strong early promotions.
Yeah, getting those districts up and all that's pretty nice.
God, I'm so not used to online speed. This is so strange to me. Because I'm trying to... Sorry, you go?
Done like 5 things?
Sorry, what?
Would you be like done with the game by now? Is that...
No. I mean, it's so weird that it's online speed is the highest speed in the game. They call it online. It's double the speed. Like, turns are double the speed of regular ones. So, like, I'm looking at, like, the research menu. It's like, 1 turn, 1 turn, 1 turn. And it's like, whoa, I'm only getting 10 science. This shouldn't be happening. Like, I'm trying to figure out, like, I'm trying to adjust, like, okay, what is actually a good deal here with all the numbers changed?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, 4 turns on currency would be amazing if not for how it's really 8 turns with the math that I'm used to. Denjin Oda says, in your experience, who is the one civ that is just a pain in the ass to fight? There's a few, and it depends on what era of the game you're in when the fight starts. Because, everybody has their own timings of when they get really dangerous. But, there are certain neighbors you just don't want to be near. One of them is Persia, because their whole thing is they love surprise attacks. So believe it or not, you don't want to be near them. And they also get bonuses to surprise attacks where their units move faster during them. So they're scary. You kind of don't want to deal with them. Alright, we're actually going to lock a few tiles here, because just make sure the AI knows these 2 tiles are really, really good. I'm getting a lot of science right now due to a natural wonder that gives science on nearby tiles.
Oh, nice.
It's
I wish I had,
really
like,
good.
a cool... like natural wonder or something, but whatever.
Do you have a natural wonder up there?
No, I haven't. Well, I haven't found one yet, at least.
Yeah, not unless you've got one in the water.
Which is a possibility.
Yeah, there are quite a few water-based ones that are quite good.
I need to start putting sailing up there.
I actually just finished sailing. I've been neglecting it even though I'm coastal. Oh yeah, and another thing you're going to have to get used to is that you don't need to be on the coast to build a boat. You just need to be within... You don't need to be on the coast to build a boat anymore. That's something to get used to. Because the harbor is its own district. It just needs to be within 3 tiles of your city, because you can build the harbor.
God, it's incredible.
But there is still a reason to have your city on the coast. The reason would be the harbor has an adjacency bonus with the city center that gives you 2 gold per turn, which is pretty good. And also, if someone's going to siege your city, which is they have a zone of control on every tile of surrounding your city, which means it won't heal every turn. It's under siege. If you're on the coast, that would require them to also have a boat there to get you under siege, which makes it much more difficult in many cases. Although you need to be careful of not getting invaded by the sea, because they'll be able to invade your city center if it's coastal. Which is obviously, a risk. Ships are very powerful.
Sure, yeah, I get that, but...
Yeah, in fact, like, if you have a scary navy in this game, you can go around just mopping up coastal cities if they're not careful. And that is a very fun strategy.
All right, get riggedy wrecked, barbarians. I'm gonna go clear this camp. It's gonna feel real good. Where is... Can you... Thank you. The one thing I don't really appreciate right now is the fact that upgrading or promoting a unit takes up their movement. I mean, I guess why, but...
It's because it heals them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like severely so. It'd be pretty unfair.
All right, and now I can build. I'm gonna do. I don't have a Pantheon yet. I should probably get on that.
Yeah, normally, what you do is on your first choice of government on Chieftain, you always go God King to get your faith until you have your Pantheon. Then you switch it for something that doesn't suck. Because God King sucks. You're just doing it for the faith.
Sure. Oh. Go say hi to them. I'm going, game. Just chill out. God. There we go. Next turn.
I've got to say, this Kree taking land through trade routes ability is pretty nice so far. Not as strong as Russia's. Every time we settle a city, we have a little over double the tiles, but still very good. Russia's pretty much the king of religious victories. When they settle a city, they start with just over double the tiles, which is really immediately amazing. And they have a unique holy site district, which is very nice, being able to build those at half speed for getting an early religion.
Oh, I don't know what to build here, so I'm gonna build some more archers.
I just realized, oh yeah, I remember too, okay. I was about to say, did I never appoint my governor? That would be really stupid of me, but then I realized I did appoint my governor. I'm not as stupid as I thought for a moment. Because if I had never appointed my governor, then Jesus Christ, what the fuck am I doing?
Oh, you know, not
anything
not
that's
doing.
gonna win me the game. Oh, it's okay. I'm just may as well not be playing, I guess.
Hey, that's an advantage to me.
There we go.
For a while.
I've upgraded the steward some more to surplus logistics, which is really nice. Plus 20% growth in the city, which is already amazing. Anything that grows your city fast is great. And your trade routes ending here provides 2 extra food for the starting city, which means that would be really good to put, because not only am I growing a city big, a big city means lots of districts, and here's a calculation you might not know that's very helpful. You know how when you do a domestic trade, it gives you production and food, but the amounts are always a little different. Different districts that you have will increase the different amounts. If you have a industrial sector, you will have an extra production on that. If you have an extra, if you have something that gives you food, what's something that gives you food? Holy site, they'll give you extra food. So if you have tons of districts in a city, you want to send all your domestic trade routes to that city because that's what's getting your root city the most resources. And like, it's not taking resources from the city, it's literally just spawning the resources in your city. There's no disadvantage to a trade route.
Yeah, no. What am I doing with my life? What am I doing with my life here? I don't know. Okay.
You got into the YouTube game. That was your first mistake.
That was the big mistake.
You're probably like, I have a passion for this. I'm gonna be so happy being a YouTuber.
I'm gonna be so happy and fulfilled with this.
I can't wait to be PewDiePie. And then... I was before PewDiePie. How bitter do you think I feel?
Oh, man. I remember watching him rise. I met him once when he was like right before he became #1. It was a strange time.
I always hear he's a really nice guy.
He's super cool. I mean, his personality, like, he's just really a loud person.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Which I'm fine. I mean, welcome to YouTube. Like, you don't get into it unless you're a little crazy or you really want money, and then you fail. Because, okay, so you know how, I don't know if you've ever seen my biggest video. It's how Bob found me. And then I found Bob through fucking coincidence. If we found each other's video by coincidence, then we figured out we were following each other on Twitter and hadn't noticed. And that's how we got talking. It was very strange.
That's really funny.
But my most popular video is how YouTubers get paid. It's a random video that I just made on a lark when I thought of one afternoon, and that's got like 2 million views or something.
2 billion? Holy crap,
Jesus Christ, I wish. Oh my god, PewDiePie, step the fuck over. But, Yeah, I was I made that random video on a lark, and because of that, I get messages like a couple times a week of just people who want to get into YouTube for money, and I just say the same thing to them every time. I'm like, look, I worked for like all these years and everything with it before I ever got paid. I'm OG. I've been around for like 8 years. This is how many hours I put in every week, and I do not make minimum wage. All of this stuff, and it's like you need to understand. You don't get into YouTube for money. That's not how it works. If you're getting into it for money, you will burn out 99% of the time. And usually these people just start anyway, and then they burn out. And like, I think, I do some work with Fudge Muppet. And I think Michael from Fudge Muppet put it best, where he's like 21, and he makes a living off of this with 2 other friends. Their one channel's making enough money for the 3 of them. And they're all really young. 21, 22, 23.
Oh my god.
I'm a ripe old 25-year-old. But like, he started the channel when he must have been like 17 or something. And he's got like, what, 600,000 viewers? And he made a really, really good point. On one of his live streams, he said, you know, he dropped out of college because I think like his problem was like, they were teaching a bunch of dumb bullshit that had nothing to do with the courses. It was just dumb political bullshit. He dropped out. He's like, fuck this. He lives in Australia. There's a big problem there with that. Same here in the east coast of Canada. We have a huge problem with political partisan bullshit in our colleges and universities. I mean, my fiance went to college for finance and real estate law. So can you explain to me why she had to watch Anita Sarkeesian videos in class? Mandatory? What the fuck does that have to do with real estate and finance law? Like, it's just this bullshit getting shoehorned in. Whatever your opinion on her is, I don't care. I think we can all agree that has nothing to do with the course she took. You know what? I usually don't go Classical Republic, but that'd actually be quite nice for the Cree. So it's just, I know, like, people in the chat are like, what? So, like, that has, like, why the fuck was that what she was being taught? Like, even she was like, this is fucking stupid. Why am I being taught this? But it's funny because I think it was Scott in the same stream. No, it was Drew in the same stream, a Fudge Muppet. When I said in the chat, like, yeah, she had to watch this. And he's like, fuck, I think I had to watch the same thing when I was in college. That's why I left.
Really?
Like, and that's over in Australia. They have the exact same problem over there. It's worse in Australia, honestly. They're from Sydney, which has a real problem with that. So... Michael brought up a really good point. He said, like, look, if you take all of the time that you would spend on college, you take your, like, 40 hours a week or whatever that you do on college for the 4 years or 3 years, whatever it takes to get the thing you're aiming for, if you had spent all that time on YouTube, you'd already be making a living before the time you would have gotten your degree. He's right. If you spend that much time researching, spending that time doing videos, practicing, like really, like legitimately putting that much time into the research, the video making, every aspect of it, as if it were a job you were really passionate about, or as if it was like a college degree that you couldn't afford to fail. You treat this like this is the fucking bar and you're becoming a lawyer, you will succeed. I completely 100% agree with that. And like, you know, I've been doing this for like 8 years and I'm not as successful as them, obviously. But then again, I don't treat it that exact same way. And like, I 100% say the reason I am not as big as I could be is my own decisions and my own mistakes. And I'm cool with that. Because if it was something out of my hands, that would suck. But I totally know that it's my fault that I'm not bigger. And I'm pretty okay with that.
Yeah, well, and I mean, that's the same way I feel about my channel, too, is like, if I ever actually treated it more consistently, I probably would have, like, succeeded a lot better at this whole thing and probably could be doing this on my own, but at the same time, like, I didn't jump on trends. I prioritized my 9 to 5 because LA is stupid expensive.
God, I don't know why so many people live in LA. Did you just grow up there, or is that a decision?
No, I lived in Washington for 8 years, and I wanted to throw myself into the fire. Mm-hmm. So I went for it, and it just kind of it worked in that it put me in the right positions to be where I am. Like now I'm editing game theory, which is cool.
Which is really cool. I've been a very big fan of that channel for a very long time, so I think that's really, really cool.
Yeah, I mean, working for, and Matt is awesome, dude.
Oh yeah, you can tell, like, especially when you've done YouTube for long enough, you can tell when someone's genuine. You kind of, like, you get a really good bullshit barometer from YouTubers.
Oh, yeah, 100%, yeah.
And, like, Matt is, again, one of those people, like, I watch, I've seen every episode of Game Theory, as far as I'm aware, at least, and I watch a very large chunk of their live streams after it's been uploaded. I'm a really big Game Theory fan, and one of the biggest things for me is just that I know I can respect the person, and that's important to me.
Oh yeah, I feel like, well, I wish respecting the person was a bigger player in the YouTube space, but then again, Logan Paul
there's some real scumlords that are really big, and I mean, like, not just idiots. There are idiots that are big, and whatever, they'll grow up one day. I mean, people who are directly manipulative and know that they're being so. I'm not cool with it. And there's, like, a weird line, too, on, like, what is and is not manipulative. And, like, because, you know, you're in the business of marketing when you do YouTube to some degree. And you could view, it's up to interpretation what is and is not manipulative when it comes to stuff like that. But in general, I'm not okay with lying. I'm not okay with intentionally misleading. Things like that, like if you're intentionally doing something to advance yourself, but you know that, like, your intention is for someone to take it the wrong way or believe it the wrong way or anything like that, then you are already going about it the wrong way. And people succeed through that, absolutely. Like, that is a legitimate path to success. I just don't like it. Everybody's gonna learn so much about the YouTube game.
I know.
Like I used to work for Shoddycast. And I had fun with my time there. This is not segueing from Scumlords, by the way, because as much as I've seen people complain about Josh, the owner of Shoddycast online, and I genuinely don't really know why on a lot of them, he has always been amazing to me. I've always got on with him really well, even when he was literally firing me. Like, the whole conversation was, I already knew I was going to be gone because he's restructuring the channel. It wasn't a personal thing. It was literally he's restructuring the channel and focusing on himself because he didn't want it to be his job anymore. And I already know I was being fired. I was like, wow, that really sucks. But I'm like, hey, but do you want to have a call? And he's like, yeah. And then we just, like, had fun talking about video games and politics and shit for hours. Because he's genuinely a really nice guy. You know, he's, like, again, I want to put the word out there, because, like, people have been frustrated working with him because communication is bad, and I understand that, and he owns that. He admits to that. I just want to point out, like, you know, there's two sides to everybody. This guy paid me for work that never even aired. Like, when he was fleeing Florida because there was a hurricane, I was editing a video for him, and he had no internet for like 3 weeks. So while he had no internet, he edited the whole video himself, and he's like, and when he got internet again, he's like, hey, I'm so sorry I can't use your version. I edited this whole version because I couldn't get access to yours, so it's already done. But tell me all the hours you spent on it, because he forced me to clock my hours, which is something I normally wouldn't do. I'm like, are you sure? Like, I'm like, okay, these are the hours, but, like, don't pay me, because, like, I'm cool with that. I understand. This is what I do in my free time. He didn't just pay me, he overpaid me.
Wow,
this is
cool.
This is what Josh is like. Josh is a really honest and nice guy. And that's why I'm really happy that I just, like, fluke ran into him. Just through Bob, because Bob worked with them.
Right.
And now I'm with Fudge Muppet, because in that conversation, Josh is like, you're so talented, you could be really big. I know these other guys who do videos, kind of like the ones you did for me. Why don't I get you in contact with them? And then they contacted Fudge Muppet and said, like, get this guy, he's really good. And now I'm friends with a bunch of them. So that's awesome.
That's really cool.
Yeah. And again, it's more of meeting really absurdly nice people. Michael is really nice and pays me way better than he probably should be for a channel his size, and puts up with my insanely long rambling emails.
Anyone that'll watch the entire or go through the entirety of an email, that's a good person.
Anyone who goes through the entirety of one of my emails is a lunatic. Like, we have a rule when you record with me or anything of budget an extra hour of time, because that's how long it'll take of just catching up and rambling at the beginning. My emails are the same way. I'm not chit-chatty when it comes to text messages or, like, chat messages or anything like that, because I will not be sarcastic in them, because I'm afraid of it getting taken the wrong way. In emails, for whatever reason, I do not shut the fuck up.
That's hilarious.
For instance, for everybody in the chat, this is me and Dan's first time ever being in a voice chat together.
Yep.
But I do not shut the fuck up. And I guess this is what helps me with YouTube, is that people never complain. People usually tell me at the end of it they had a really fun time. So I guess it's advantageous that I never shut the fuck up, because apparently people really enjoy talking to me.
No, this has been absolutely horrible, and I wish this would change.
Oh yeah, this is fucking agony.
This is the worst thing I think I've ever done.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Look, there was crack cocaine, and then there's this. Some things you regret more than others, and you just kind of understand why when you hear it. You got in a call with me.
Oh no, this sucks.
I know, the call does suck, right?
This call does suck. I'm trying. I was like, oh, I could build a harbor, but I can't put a commercial district next to it.
Yeah, having a commercial district next to it gives you adjacency bonus. In fact, your capital has a great spot, if not for those goddamn diamonds.
Yeah, that's the thing, is like I got a quarry, diamonds, and horses. There's no place to put it.
Now, you could still get a strong commercial district between the diamonds and the holy site. It'll be river adjacent, which is 2 gold, and then it's adjacent to a luxury, which is an extra 1. And there's also a weak adjacency bonus you can get, where for every 2 districts you have next to each other, that's 1 adjacency for everything. It's a shitty adjacency, but it's better than nothing.
Right. I think that I'm just gonna have to go with that. But I mean, at least at my city up top, I'm able to. I got a commercial district that I could put right next to an arbor, and that'll be some top-notch stuff. I also have no idea what the hell I'm doing right now. I need to build some builders.
Yeah, builders are really important. That's always somewhere where people kind of forget and lose their way a bit.
Well, yeah, because last time it was workers, and you just set them on, auto upgrade stuff, and then they just go improve.
Yeah.
And then they start building roads out to enemy civs, and you're like, where are you going? All right, give me one of these. Put it there. I could probably afford to just buy a builder.
That's often a good idea, especially in a new city. Builders' cost ramp up through the game as you make more of them, both production and money, which makes sense. I mean, you're gonna be building the whole game. Obviously, they would scale in price.
Yeah. All right. And just to both chats, I'm trying to keep up with mine. I don't know how you're. We're just kind of going.
I'm reading my chat a lot. I'm just not reading it out loud a lot for this.
Yeah.
Because again, it's a lot of people's first time watching, and I'd rather focus on the game for educational purposes. Normally, I never shut the fuck up with the chat.
Well, that's a sign of a good streamer, right?
I thought you were just gonna say it's the sign of you're talking to me. Never shut the fuck up is the redundant part.
It's a sign of just pure madness, right?
Yeah. I actually can't stop talking. I have a bomb in me.
Are you Speed, but with talking? Because that's kind of awesome.
I'm the Reverse Flash.
The Reverse Flash?
Okay, so you know the superhero Flash, right?
Yeah.
Do you know Reverse Flash?
I know of him.
It's the villain. He gets his speed
Yeah,
from
yeah.
the Flash. He's the Reverse Flash.
Yeah.
It
With
might be
Speed Force and stuff.
It might be one of the dumbest things in all of comics. The Reverse Flash, that someone sat down and they put pen to paper and they decided the villain is going to be the Reverse Flash. It's not even going to be like
claim
a
a great
pun.
person.
It's not even going to be like a pun on Flash. It's just going to be Reverse Flash.
Reverse Flash. It'll work.
It's not even as cool as calling it Anti-Flash. Like, at least the word anti is kind of cool, right? There's nothing cool about reverse.
Ooh. And one random technology. Triggers Eureka moment. I'm gonna do this. By the way, I have someone in my chat because I have song requests all set up. And it has just been like it's just been Viking metal for like the past hour, and it's been incredible.
Weird.
All right, and now I got a great scientist.
We've met some pretty dangerous civs, actually. I just met Saladin. He's got a really terrifying timing attack. He's a lot of fun to play. Arabia's great because they have their Mamluks, which are unique knights that heal every turn no matter what they did. That's very, very powerful, and then that's a heavy cavalry unit, so the upgrade line goes into tanks later in the game, so you can have auto-healing tanks.
Oh.
Yeah, Saladin's scary.
Okay.
Yeah, his strategies are largely based around rushing chivalry really, really early while getting a bunch of chariots and building up a lot of money, so you can start mass upgrading them into super early Mamluks and like tear down walls with cavalry charges without even having a battering ram. It's pretty fucking ridiculous if you pull it off right.
Yeah, all right. So this is kind of a tradition I had with Civ 5. Whenever I play with my friends, I'm founding a religion, and I'm just going to go ahead and pick cancer, and
Yep.
I'm going to name it Butts.
Yep, butt cancer.
Just
We've
God
had a...
damn it! I didn't even put that together. Oh, that's worse.
You've never put that together.
No, I'm not. Well,
I thought that was the fucking joke.
I know. It's Butts with a Z. That's the joke.
My joke's better.
Your joke is a hell of a lot better.
Yeah. The fuck? I thought that was just the joke. I thought the joke was butt cancer.
I should have just went, mm-hmm.
Man, you can tell the Let's Player here is.
Oh, man. I stopped doing Let's Plays a long time ago.
I never stopped. I've done 1,000 things, but I never stopped Let's Play. I did creepypasta readings. I did reviews. I've done everything. Never stopped doing Let's Play. It's my bread and butter. It's my favorite. It's the least popular thing, but it's my favorite.
Oh, what else do I want?
It's just it's how I think. Part of my disability is that I can't picture things in my head willingly, and so the way I've always like formulated thoughts is I just have a constant running track of everything I need to remember in my head of my voice, and so naturally I just vocalize that, and then there you go. I've been Let's Playing since I was born. I just didn't vocalize it. Now that I vocalize it, it's really really easy. So there you go.
Hey, I got some good news.
It's
I am
annoying?
not.
Oh.
Yeah, it is.
That's good news, right? Like, you finally made me figure it out?
I was just... All I was going to say is that I'm not going to have a Dark Age. Matter of fact, it's going to be golden.
I'm pretty close to a golden age. Next era's in 7 turns by the looks of it, so who knows?
Yeah, and though it's... If you get a golden after a Dark Age, it becomes a heroic Dark Age, right?
Heroic Age.
Yeah.
A heroic Dark Age would be quite the oxymoron.
All right. I still don't know exactly what I'm doing, but at least it feels like I'm doing something right.
Hey, Mah-Dry, remember the religion dancing on Congo's grave? Yeah. The day that Civ 6 came out, I did a Let's Play of it as Russia. I got a religious victory. First person I fought was the Congo because they were near me. and I founded a religion as I killed them. So I named their religion Dancing on Congo's Grave, and the first thing I did was spread it to their old capital.
That's good.
I usually have a lot of good... I'm pretty good about religion names, usually, when I go for a religion. I named it the Chat once, because the Chat is cancer. And I had the cancer one. I had... oh, what was it? Shit, there was a really good one. I'm trying to remember now. Oh, shit. I can't remember now. Of course I can't remember now. I think Kill Whipser might have been actually one of the religions in just a private game I played. Kill Whipser is a fun meme of the show. You know Fable the Lost Chapters?
Fable the Lost Chapters?
Great game.
No, I don't think...
Fucking awesome game. It's the first Fable game. Except for, like, Fable... Okay, here's the thing with Fable. It's like, Wait, can I not just settle right here? Why can I not settle right here? Why can I not settle right there?
Man, I'm kind of...
Oh, his turn's over. I'm stupid. Fable Lost Chapters. The Fable series is kind of like, Highlander, the movie series, in which the first one was really good and then everything else ever made in it sucked. Fable Lost Chapters, fantastic game. You grow up with like your friendly rival called Whisper. Mm-hmm. And in an old Let's Play I did, I was like a good guy the whole game, and they're like moral choices. And you go to an arena that's like an arena to the death, and she's in it too. And you tag team for a while in it, and then you're made to fight each other, and you can spare her life and walk out, or you can kill her. And I killed her. Because my rationale was twofold. One, it's an arena battle to the death. She knew what she was getting into coming into it. And the other is that she always takes the opposite quests from you in a few rival quests. I took one to defend these farmers from bandits who were trying to kill them and rob them. And she joined up with the bandits for that. So she aided in the murder of a bunch of guards in the attempted robbery of this place. And then you have a battle with her, and she is like, I took this quest to one-up you, and then you beat her, and she's like, Drat, maybe next time. And I'm like, you're fucking crazy. Like, in an attempt to one-up me, you have agreed to rob and kill these farmers, and although you didn't succeed, thanks to me, not thanks to anything of your own, you killed all these guards. They were just trying to defend these poor farmers. And to this day, I still get really furious YouTube comments calling me a monster for killing her.
Really?
In fact, one guy that was just hysterical. Everyone kept egging him on and talking to him because he seemed so fucking crazy and it was funny. Eventually, he said he tried to say like it's canon that she was actually good, because of a novelization. Okay. Yeah, you know, it was like canon. It was canonical. Oh, fuck.
Right. Yeah.
I bumped a cord, and now my second monitor went out. God damn it! I haven't had that happen in forever. Fixing it.
I always love off-mic Let's Players.
Oh God, cheap fucking Chinese cord. There we go. Oh God, that's what I get for spending $1. So I can see the chat again. It was $1. I guess I can't really blame China on that one. All I'm gonna say is if I got it from Hong Kong, it'd be better. That was mainland, that one. Fuck mainland China. Hong Kong all the way. My uncle lives in Hong Kong. It's a great place. Right. So he said like in a novelization of the game that she was like definitely for sure a good guy and didn't kill anyone. And we're like, okay, hold on. There's no novelization of this game. So we like egg him on some more. And then later, it turns out he said like, well, in my novelization, and we suddenly realize he's written fanfics on it and he's calling it a novelization. And then we found the fanfics, and it's like this, it's like this like 50 chapter long like love story of the main character and like this video game character. And like it got to the point where like in the community, imaginary shadows, is Shadows here? Damn, she was she's like a member of the community. She was in the Discord general chat doing dramatic readings of this story. Oh my god.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So now all the time we do the joke of, well, in my novelization, and then say some alt history bullshit.
Oh, that's great. Oh, that's so good.
But yeah, to this day, like, I get people legitimately fierce, like, telling me that I'm a monster in real life and that I must be a sociopath. It doesn't matter what rationale I have, like, whether you agree with it or not, they don't listen to anything. It's incredible.
Oh, that's so good.
I know. Like, I'm so... It just... I don't even get mad. I don't even get mad at it, because it's so fucking funny to me that it's like, this is glorious. This is beautiful. Like, this is... there's like an art... There's like a deep art in this. It's like art through pain. I love it.
It's shouting for you.
Not even, because no one's getting hurt. And yet pain exists. There's pain without a victim. Like, this transcends Schadenfreude. This is fucking art in its purest form. I love that shit.
Oh, it's so
in
good.
My novelization. It was on like some fucking, like, it was just on like Wattpad or some shit, like some fanfic site. God, in my novelization, till the day I die, I will remember that line.
It's the sort of stuff you can't write, you can't think of it, like,
yeah, like you just don't make that up. That's
no, it just exists.
Is the perfect level of real enough and, like, not over the top enough that this literally happened. He never deleted his own, like, 50 comments he left. He was never so embarrassed he deleted his own comments. So to this day, if you look on my channel, you search, like, just Fable the Arena on YouTube. Like, I'm pretty much top result, I think, on YouTube for Fable Lost Chapters somehow. Even though it's such a popular game. If you just look up Fable... just look up Fable, the Arena. You'll find my video. Just don't even watch it. It's not that good. Just read the comments. It's incredible.
Just read the 50 comments.
And I think if you scroll hard enough, you'll actually find, like, me getting angry in the early days, because this was, like, 5 years ago, and I had a worse temper when it came to really shitty, mean, cruel YouTube commenters back then. So you'll probably find, like, a few comments from, like, 4 or 5 years ago where I'm like, fuck's wrong with you people? And then you'll start to see the ones where I'm clearly just egging them on because I want to see how far it goes, because at that point it's just funny. Oh my god.
I gotta choose a Civic.
It's just so beautiful.
There are moments like that not quite the same, but back I used to work at a news station for a while, and it was right when the scanners were starting to pop up for TSA, where they do the scan, they can see your body or whatever, and everyone was freaking out that our privacy was just gonna be abused, just destroyed. And they were interviewing one of the guys that was supposed to review, that was going to be watching the monitoring everything.
Mm-hmm.
And his lower third pops up. And it was this one beautiful moment where you could see even the anchors start to break. Everyone in production was laughing their ass off. The guy's name was Neil Seacock.
Oh. That's unfortunate.
It is real unfortunate. I'm just, that poor guy.
Yeah, that's pain.
That is just pain.
It's so good though.
It's another one of those things, like, you can't write that. It's just something that pops up. What is a great...
Things just happen sometimes.
All right, so what does a great merchant do in this one?
every great person does their own unique thing.
Yeah, this one tells me to stand here.
Like every great merchant has its own ability.
Oh, so I just doubled my diamond.
There you go.
Call me Double Diamond, because I just did it.
Diamond dogs?
All right.
Did you get the reference?
Okay,
If you didn't get the reference, I'm not gonna like you
No,
anymore.
I got lost in my own excitement of Double Diamond.
Okay. Oh, did I just Golden Age? I just Golden Aged.
Nice. I'm gonna keep doing that. I'm gonna keep sending stuff to you.
Ooh, forgot when you get in a Golden Age, everything becomes brighter and a bit more yellow.
Yeah, just slightly.
Yeah, Dark Age makes it very dark. I'm not the biggest fan of how dark it gets during a Dark Age.
No, me neither.
So normally I'd be playing like really aggressively and just take over Tamiris by now, but I figure with the Kree, I may as well go like pretty peaceful early on, but I am starting to do a bit of a military build-up. Because I want Tamiris dead, and Tamiris is playing like an idiot. I'm playing on Immortal, and you're playing as Prince, and Tamiris just looks like she's doing shit like she's on Prince. Like, there's so much land she could be taking, and so many city-states she could have conquered.
Oh, boy. What am I doing here?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
You
just researching random... No,
do you
wait,
just
I
have
don't
3
want that.
cities?
Shut up.
You know what you should be doing is going across the water there over to where Arabia is. Start to dot that coast with some cities.
Where Arabia is?
Yeah, just west of you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just west of Berlin. Across that little water strait is a whole continent. He's right on the coast.
Oh. Alright. I'm gonna go do that then.
You need to go make a boat. That's what you need to do.
I need to make some damn boats, yo.
Yeah, I've already got a boat scouting.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Can I build the boat? Yay! I'm gonna build a boat. Oh, and I finally know. Oh, well, I'm just gonna do that then. Oh, I want money. I'm greedy. Game on.
People earlier were saying in my novelization, you're the best worst streamer on Smashcast. That's not even in your novelization because that's canonical. Because over here in Smashcast, when they started doing a YouTube series back when they were Hitbox, where they would have YouTubers promote themselves, or streamers promote themselves at the end of their news videos. The first one they ever asked to do it was me. And they officially endorsed my, at that point, unofficial title of the best worst streamer on Hitbox, which has now become the best worst streamer on Smashcast.
I love it.
Which I'm very happy with that title.
So I wonder if I did this, and then I did, Man, I really hope I'm doing this right. I don't even know if I am, but...
I don't know why Real Fizzlebeef keeps saying, please, Mah-Dry, please. I have no idea what that's in reference to.
But please.
Yeah, I have no idea what I'm being pleaded to do.
Just please.
Tell us the duck story. What the fuck's the duck story? What?
What do you mean the duck story?
Am I missing something?
Do you have a duck?
I don't have a duck or a duck story.
Perfect. Build that there. This dude is going to... What do I need to research to get my... Or how do I get settlers across? Because they don't just disembark now. Oh, embarkment?
Yeah, which is, that comes along with the technology shipbuilding.
Shipbuilding, got it.
Which is right after sailing. It's very early. There's actually a strategy where you can go across the ocean incredibly early in this game. If you look at the tech tree from the very beginning of the game, all the way to cartography, which is Renaissance era, it's 3 technologies in. And It has a reasonably easy boost to get to.
Alright.
I type please because I'm bad at typing and misspelled it, but I don't know what you're saying please for. I don't understand. I don't know the context. You're gonna have to tell me. I'm lost. Help me find... Oh, no, I was about to say help me find the way, as in just, like, help me find the way because I am lost. But then I realized it would just be that fucking meme. It's unintentional. It's like how, for years, you couldn't even say that cake fucking exists on the internet without cake is a lie. Knees, you couldn't bring up that a knee exists. As a strategy gamer, to this day, if you say fucking anything about how you have to get a wall... Because you build walls in strategy games. It's just what you do in strategy games. You can't do it without fucking build a wall references. And it's like, guys, become fucking original. Like, you can't just say, lol Donald Trump, and then expect praise. You'll get praise, because people don't have a fucking sense of humor. Because people are so fucking devoid of a sense of humor that they'll just hear... lol, name of guy I don't like. What a good joke. And they'll laugh at that. God forbid I put some effort in. Jesus Christ.
Oh, man.
Believe it or not, just quoting a guy that you think is a joke isn't a joke. Oh, it makes me so angry when people... Just like, they'll just make Donald Trump jokes, and then they'll be like, whoa, I'm such a rebellious spirit. I'm bringing down the man, bringing down the authority. The safest joke on fucking Earth you can do right now is a Donald Trump joke. You can say a Donald Trump joke, and no matter how shitty it is, people who like Donald Trump jokes will just start clapping like seals at a circus. Good Lord. No effort. No effort. I could there you go.
Right?
I could get so big on YouTube right now if I just became the fucking the 24/7 makes fun of Trump channel, cuz it's so fucking easy and the people who like it love it.
Oh yeah. Well, everyone could get behind it, right?
No. Many people can't get behind it, but the people who do get behind it don't give a fuck what they think. So there you go. They just wall those people out. Pun intended. You see that? I just made a pun, guys. That required more effort than you see any actual comedian now put into it. Whoa. Shots,
the salt is
shots
so real.
fired,
so
folks.
Good.
Shots fired. Oh man, I'm shooting from the hip. Sorry, bad comedy, whatever. Who am I to dictate what is bad comedy? Lazy comedy? Get fucked. Get fucked. I do this for a living. I put in goddamn effort. Professional comedians don't even put in effort anymore. Oh boy. It makes my blood boil. I don't know if you can tell.
Oh,
I'm pretty subtle about it.
No,
it makes my blood fucking boil.
The salt is real.
Lazy comedy.
As someone that appreciates a good salty rant, that was some good.
Full
saltiness.
I am full of salty rants. I can only rant about things I am really, really passionate about, but I can rant forever.
I mean, clearly, once you get started, there's no going back.
I am Sable from 1997. Once I start, I can't stop. That was a really obscure professional wrestling reference, everybody, to a horrible line that the female wrestler Sable vomited out at the incredibly obscure Rage Party event in, I believe, 1997, in which she said, "When I start dancing, I can't stop." And then she shuffled a little. So, points to anyone who got that. Points to anyone who got that. All right, Government Plaza is something I always drag my feet on. It's totally new district. You can only build one of it, and I still don't understand any of the metagame around it. It is very strange district.
I'm gonna build mine in a desert because I feel like it.
I mean, it doesn't have any. It doesn't. At least it takes up a tile that you didn't need anyway. Although, I'm fairly sure that, what is it? I'm fairly sure that, English is a very difficult language, guys.
It's incredibly difficult.
Yeah, I'm Canadian, that's my excuse.
You're Canadian, that's your excuse.
I live like an hour from Quebec.
Yeah.
But it's okay, because I don't know French. If you don't explain that part, it's a pretty good excuse. I mean, I learned it mandatory for 9 years, and I can't speak it. Because...
Wait, well, like mandatory French?
I don't know if you know, Canada has 2 official languages, English and French. You learn both of them mandatory, like your whole life.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like it's not like Spanish is to America. French isn't our second language. It's French and English are both the primary language. In Quebec, like almost everybody learns French as their first language in their household. And New Brunswick is like 50-50. I'm in Ontario, which is next to Quebec, which is why for the most part, French words I can pronounce correctly, but I often don't know them just because I'm very terrible with languages outside of English. America has no official language, but de facto English.
Yeah, we have meme English.
You have, you don't have an official language, but all of your government documents are written in a language, so I think we can say that's your official language.
Yeah, I mean, I would say. But we're a melting pot.
Yeah, I know English and American Carney. Which again, like this is a testament to how I'm really good with English, to the point that I can learn offshoots of English well enough that I am... I don't know if I call myself fluent in Carney. If you give me you can give me any statement in Carney, and I can break it down and understand it, but I can't speak it fluently. Are you familiar with Carney?
No, I have no idea what Carney is at all.
Carnival speak. You know how in carnivals the workers made their own language over many years so that they could talk in front of people without giving away their secrets. That's American Carney. I am reasonably fluent in American Carney.
That's kind of awesome.
It's really easy to learn, actually. It's supposed to be easy to learn, but impossible to decipher from the outside looking in.
Sure.
Which is why I don't know if I should give away too many of the secrets on it, just because it is actually very easy to learn once you get the hang of it. And it's one of those things where once you start to learn it, it feels very natural.
Right.
Right. Where did I want to send this governor?
Just make that like a Patreon or like a tier, like, hey, if you give me $10, I'll teach you Carney.
Yeah. I've spoken in Carney on stream before. I was hoping that my friend Mandy would know it, but she totally didn't, which is hilarious because she did like work at a carnival for quite a while. I have this friend, really? Mandy, who's lived the most crazy life in the world. She's a vet right now. She just became a veterinarian recently. She's also a classically trained opera singer. She's an audio engineer. She's a voice actress. She used to work at the carnival as a dancer, I believe. Like, she's done everything.
And then just decided one day, like, nah, screw all that. I'm just gonna go help pets.
Yeah, she's a veterinarian.
That's awesome.
Which is pretty cool. Yeah, she actually like works at a clinic right now. It's why she isn't on the stream as much as she used to be. Is just she works double shifts at the vet a lot. And you know, she lives in Atlanta, Georgia right now, in a fairly rural area. So lots of horseback riding and stuff.
See, if my fiance, Alyssa Be Crazy, did anything, I would always assume that she was eventually going to be like a vet, or she really wants to open up at some point in time like an animal rescue.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I've always been like a huge animal guy. This like right now, the last 2 years have been the only time in my life that I've ever lived in a place that didn't have cats. And that's been a weird adjustment period, is I don't have any animals. Ever since moving with Fatima, because we just can't afford that right now. But like growing up, I would always have like between 4 and 6 cats. So it's weird to me. We were the crazy cat people. And I love it to death. I love cats.
my mom would literally be the crazy Catwoman if it weren't for the fact that my dad was there saying, no hell. No frickin' way.
No, I love cats. I can't wait for the day that I can have a cat again. It's gonna be Fatima's first time with a cat, which is nice. That's my fiance.
Oh. Our latest excursion is my fiance trying to tell me that we need a ram.
You mean like a male sheep?
Yeah, because
wow.
now we moved out of LA, so we're saving like a shit ton of money. Like,
I'd imagine.
Like immediately, like $500 in my pocket already. It's incredible.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I used to live in Toronto for a little while, so I know exactly what you're talking about, and like just ridiculously overpriced. Like, Toronto's not quite as bad as LA, but it's very, very close to it. The only thing worse in Canada is Vancouver, which is, in comparison to the income of Vancouver, is, I believe, the second most expensive place to live in the world, just below Dubai. Actually, per income, it's worse than Dubai, because Dubai, people living there are wealthy. Whereas in Vancouver, you're probably not wealthy, but the living costs are still insane. Like, that's up there with, like, LA. Super Carmelo says, speaking of which, how is Oakville price-wise? Yeah, I live in Oakville now. Much better than Toronto was. We were only in Toronto because it's the only place we had to go when we lost our house, because my uncle owned a one-room apartment there. So that's just where we went to not be on the streets. Living costs there are unlivable, absolutely unlivable. Here in Oakville, it's better, but it's still Southern Ontario, which is where like fucking 50% of our population lives or something. Like, it's crazy. We have horrific overpopulation crises in Southern Ontario. Because, you know, everybody moves to Canada, and because we're reasonably easy to move into if you have a decent amount of money or if you have familial ties, and everyone has familial ties here, so they move into Ontario because all they've ever heard of is Toronto, so they move around Toronto, and then they get stuck in a ghetto because they all of a sudden realize the job market is shit, it's overpopulated, they can't find any kind of work, they can't get government support because it's so bogged down, and then they're fucked. Welcome to Canada. Why do people think we're a paradise?
Because it's not where we are.
You know, people... Oh, God, America's way better than Canada. Canada has good places, but people don't live in the good places in Canada. Whereas America has actual good stuff, and they can't just be ripped away. We have a long-standing tradition of ripping away good shit, and you have no say in the matter. We have a long history of bullshit like that. I mean, we just elected a guy who ran entirely on campaign lies. And I bet you he'll get reelected because political apathy is a serious problem in Canada. Our voting turnout's like a third of what you guys have.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Ooh,
it's really, really bad. People just don't vote here. Justin Trudeau won the election on the stance of, this will be the last ever election that's first past the post, because first past the post sucks and I'm going to change it. And then a month after he was elected in the House of Commons, which our House of Commons is live broadcasted, you can watch the recordings of it, it's amazing. It's just heckling. It's our ministers heckling each other.
Oh, that's great.
Tom Mulcair stands up and he is like, so, what's going on with that first past the post going away? And Justin Trudeau stands up, he ums and ers a bit, as usual, and he starts with, I've listened to Canadians, and when he starts with that, you already hear the murmurings, because whenever he starts with that, you know he's about to not listen to Canadians. He immediately starts by saying that they're not getting rid of first past the post. And there was just standing waves of ministers booing in the House of Commons. Literally runs on a platform of, I will do this, and it will be done, and I'm the only one who will do it. A month later, I'm not gonna do it because Canadians don't want me to do it. We voted for you to do it! That's why you won! God!
My chat's asking if they need to play the Blame Canada song.
This is the thing. There's nothing you can blame Canada for unless you're Canadian.
That's true.
Like,
I mean, there's absolutely nothing against, like,
No one outside of Canada has any reason to be mad at Canada. Canadians have a huge reason to be mad at Canada because everything they fuck up is domestic. That's the reason why people outside of Canada are like, we never hear of bad shit happening in Canada. That's because everything they fuck up is domestic, and so you never hear about it because they don't make, like, foreign snafus. It is
pretty
abominable.
Tame outside.
It's abominable, the fuck-ups. Like, here in Ontario, we have Niagara Falls, the largest waterfall in the fucking world, and we have a hydro dam for it. So, naturally, you would think we'd have some of the lowest hydro prices in the world. We have the highest hydro prices in all of Canada. Now, you wonder, how the fuck does that happen when you have Niagara Falls? The answer, our premier, Kathleen Wynne, sells off all of their tactic to help make foreign money is we sell our hydro to the United States and then buy back the surplus. Now, can you see the issue here?
Mm-hmm.
We're selling it to the States. We're buying back the surplus, which is already a loss of money, and our dollar is significantly weaker than yours because the last thing our previous government did before going out of power was sell our national gold reserve. So our money tanked 20 cents compared to yours. In high school, my money was worth more than yours. Oh.
And now, oh buddy.
And you know why they did it? The explanation by our old Prime Minister, Stephen Harper, who he never did anything good. The only thing that people ever praise him for, and fair enough, was he carried us through the 2008 financial crisis mostly unscathed. Because he had a degree in economics. It was the only thing he was good at. He thought, oh, we'll make our money back by people coming to Canada from the States for day trips to buy stuff here because our money will be worth less. No one does tourism to Canada. And that money just goes to the government. But you know what happens? Canada imports a lot of its goods that aren't natural resources. Like, all of our computing goods are imported from the States. So if our dollar is weaker, then that costs more for us to import, so we need to sell it at a higher price locally so that independent businesses can make a profit. Which means the prices have to go up, which means that the citizens need to pay more money, but they're not getting any of the tourism money because that's going to the government. So prices raise for everybody, so wages need to raise. So the minimum wage is currently being hiked to fucking $15, which means that people are getting laid off en masse because independent businesses can't afford to have new employees, which means our problem in the first place was unemployment. So their solution was cause more unemployment, but the people who are already employed will get some more money. What the fuck, Ontario? This is our capital! What is going on? What is going on?
Oh, the rants are... the salt. Oh my god. I could season 7 dinners with the amount of salt that we've had in the last 2 hours.
But here's the thing. Over the course of my conversation, has your opinion of Canada fucking went way down? Just by being educated on what Canada's actually like?
It is... Well, because, I mean... I've been to Canada
It's tailspin. Once. Like, that's the thing is, every time I talk to people and I tell them about what Canada's really like, their opinion of it just goes in a fucking tailspin because it's like, I had no idea. It was such a fucking shit show up north. It is.
You guys are just really good about, like, keeping it internal so no one sees the shit.
Oh, Canadians lie about Canada like crazy. Because half of Canadians because a lot of Canadians don't give a shit about Canadian politics, they give a shit about American politics, and so they don't know how bad it is, other than, oh, the prices keep going up, wonder why that is. But this is why people in Canada, like, the dream is move to Alberta, where there isn't provincial sales tax.
This is so funny, because, like, literally, like, after the US election, like, half the conversations on the West Coast were like, maybe we just, leave the country and go, and, like, then Canada said, like, you can come join Canada, and some of us went, yeah, maybe, and now I'm like,
that pisses me off every time, because, like, fucking, I see so many entitled people on Twitter. Every time they see a political thing they don't like, they're like, moving to Canada. And it's like, you have no idea how good you have it. Like, and I'll see, like, what state they're from. And I'm like, you have no idea how much shit you have in your state that I would murder for. You Texan motherfuckers, you have so much shit in Texas I would kill for. Texas, the shit it's bad at, it's really bad at. The shit it's good at, it's better than most fucking countries. Do you have any idea how good the prison system is in Texas? About rehabilitation?
I can't say that I looked that stuff up.
I do, because I give a shit about this kind of stuff. Man,
yeah.
Texas has so much good shit that no one brings up just because the bad shit, like, they really harp on and overblow. They got bad shit. Everywhere has bad shit. But the good shit, the other states, and other countries even, need to fucking, like, take a look at that and be like, hey, maybe there are bits of this that are good. There are bits of every country that are good.
Yeah.
I hate all the way. God, entitled bastards. You know we don't have freedom of speech in Canada? We have freedom of expression. But it's not complete. There are sentences I am not allowed to say in any context.
What?
Okay.
No.
There's the caveat of if it's for educational purposes and then it's okay, but it needs to be determined as educational purposes by a judge. It's up to interpretation. It's not up to the facts of what I said. So you can get fucked on it. I know a guy who was an online artist. He made his living through doing art online. Mm-hmm. He had his ability to own any device that has access to the internet revoked and put under house arrest for, I believe it was 10 years, and put on a fine for mean tweets. And it turns out he didn't make them. This was 2 years ago in Ontario, in our capital of Ottawa, an hour away from where I live, and the only reason he got out of it is because Twitter made such an uproar about it that it was reinvestigated and it was figured out that the tweets weren't even his. It was a fake Twitter account made by the people who were claiming to be harassed by him. Now, in Ontario, we have a long history of, because of our overburdened system due to overpopulation, when someone wastes court time, they throw the fucking book at them to make an example of them. These were two 20-year-old college-age girls, which means nothing happened to them. There wasn't even a fine. Diplomatic immunity. Yeah.
Man,
It was literally just a guy was snarky to them and said that the wage gap isn't how they think it works. And then they made a fake Twitter for him and started sending people rape and death threats. And they testified in court against him. That's how far they took it. He had his ability to feed his children taken away until it was retried because of YouTubers that everybody says are lowlives, everyone says are scumbags. People like Sargon of Akkad are the reason this guy had his life back. So you know what? Maybe there are two sides to every coin. Maybe you can't throw away a person just because you saw them say a thing out of context you didn't like. Give people a chance. Yeah, they broke the law. They broke the law. That's worth pointing out.
Giant red vest.
Oh, you have a giant red vest.
My city, and it's scaring me.
You're losing loyalty. You need to take care of it before it becomes a free city and is no longer under your control.
Okay, well, I just established that, so.
Ooh, well, I'm gonna have to establish that you're bad at this video game.
God damn it, thanks.
A monument does help you with the loyalty. Having a governor in the city really helps with the loyalty if you want to move a governor over there.
Yeah,
it does take 5 turns for your governor to set up unless it's the military governor. He only takes 3. Anyways, I'm really dragging my feet on this war. I might want to just push it through already. I've been on autopilot for the last little while. I'm not taking the game particularly seriously right now because
I've just been pressing buttons hoping it works.
My neighbors to north aren't taking it seriously, so I'm just having fun with it. Okay. This thing is, I get complacent in Civ if the AI isn't putting up a fight, and the AI is not even trying.
I'm gonna just buy a monument like that. That's good. And then build. Oh, all right. Okay, where's my Governor Tal? Governor.
Yeah. He has a good example, Rolf has a beef. He says, part of the wage gap is that men often take more dangerous jobs. A very common job for a lot of people that I knew in high school, coming out of high school, is because the job market in Ontario is so bad. A lot of the young men who didn't do very well flew off to Alberta in the tundra, like the northern tundra of Alberta, to work on oil drilling platforms. It's so cold there that, and I'm friends with some of these people, when you take a piss, it's frozen when it hits the ground. That is where a lot of people shipped off to work for danger pay. Now, there are no requirements for this job. Anyone can do it, but it was all men who did it. I don't know a single female who did that from my high school, but a lot of men did that. Some jobs attract more men, some attract more women. And that's going to cause a gap. I mean, danger pays a lot of money. Working on an oil drilling platform, you can just die. You can fall. You'll die. You can go to Alberta and work in the coal mines. Do you want to work in a coal mine? No, you don't want to work in a coal mine. But some people think that it's worth doing a coal mine. They value the money more than they value the loss of years on their life. It's usually guys who do that. So there you go. That's gonna cause an income gap. But you know, this is all shit that I need to be careful with my verbiage on, because again, that can actually be considered a hate crime here. You can be tried for that. So I need to be very careful with my individual words. I'm not making a joke, by the way.
Wow.
As of this year, if it's interpreted the wrong way, you could potentially be charged with a hate crime, specifically hate speech, which is less severe, but it's still severe. There's jail time. Actually, there's a large fine and jail time if you refuse to pay the fine, or if you can't pay the fine. And then if you do the jail time, you still have a fine that you obviously can't pay because you're in jail. You could here get blasted with that if you call somebody the wrong pronoun and they think it's intentional and the court thinks it's intentional. If it's unintentional, that's fine. If it's intentional, that can be seen as harassment. You see, our hate crime laws are very strange in that it's very well written, most of it, where it's a list of things. It's like race, sex, sexual orientation, gender identity,
Right.
income, stuff like that. It's just a list of things. And then it's like, okay, here's a list of things, and then every rule below is you can't discriminate along someone's on this list for this reason. And it's like, okay, so it's like point 1, you can't pay someone less because they're on the list. And the list is just like, so you can't pay anyone less because of their race, their gender, whatever. It's like, okay, that makes sense. You can't fire someone because they're on the list. Makes sense. You can't break a previously existing law like assault because they're on the list. Okay, these are like very specific, very obvious. And then you get to point, I think it was point 22, where all of a sudden it's like, who the fuck wrote this fucking one? Where it's, you can't harass somebody for being on this list. And then they never define the word harassment. And as we've learned from our courts, harassment could be anything as much as one mean tweet.
Oh my god.
Now, the English definition that people generally agree with harassment is to continually, intentionally, deeply bother someone along continual, multiple points. You can't harass someone once. Harassment, by definition, is multiple. You're over and over. You're incessantly trying to disturb them. That is how harassment is usually defined. In the Canadian legal system, the word harassment is simply not defined. Oh. Jesus Christ. This is also a country where local police forces will check Twitter, and they will scan their own city's Twitter, and if they believe you're saying something that they think could be hate speech, they will come to your house. They do this in the UK too. People get arrested based on this, based on mean tweets. There won't even be a victim. The police might try and track down your house and come to your door and attempt to charge you with something or bring you down to the station to scare you. Now, luckily, my police force is very nice. I know, because I only live like a block away from a police station, and I visited them before to make sure they know what swatting is. Just in case, to make sure, hey, I'm not a bomber. I know Oakville doesn't exactly have bombers, but I'm not a bomber. And they're like, don't worry. Thankfully, my local police force is a particularly good one.
All right. I do need to point out that it is 3 o'clock right now, and I do have to get back to editing.
We can pick this one up another time. I had a lot of fun with this, even though we barely talked about the game.
We haven't even I don't think we've gone over any of the major mechanics, so I'm just hitting buttons. I'm probably have the weakest military, so don't attack me.
Oh, it's okay. This is what my streams are all about. It's just enjoy the game or enjoy the conversation. Like, Yakuza 0, it's enjoy the game. With something like this, it's enjoy the conversation. I love it. Man, I miss...
especially with...
Sorry, you go.
Oh, I was just saying, especially with something like Civ, this is definitely one of those, like... We're just hitting, like, next and kind of moving things around. We don't need to talk about the gameplay. This is about conversations.
Yeah. Let me just save this real quick. There we go. I dropped a save on it, so I can rehost this sometime when we're free.
Sweet.
Yeah, anything we want to wrap up and say? I guess we'll stream this again sometime. This was definitely a lot of fun. I'm free a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm especially free after this month because I'm trying to wrap up a lot of stuff with Brandon this month because he's going off to the military after this month. And he's going to be in basic training for like 3 months or something. He's becoming a technician who works on like airplanes for the military.
That's cool.
So he's got basic training for 3 months, so pretty much no contact during that time. But after that, he's allowed to move around Canada and stuff, so he'll be back to hanging out on the show. So we're just wrapping up some series. So I'm recording a lot with him, but conversation's fun. I hope that people have enjoyed what they've seen in the game, even though, like, obviously I've been playing very lazy. You guys have seen me play this before, and you know I'm usually quite meticulous, but I've been quite lazy with this one. And that I also really miss Yakuza 0. I just beat that game, and already I'm like, ooh, I kind of want to just buy the remake of Yakuza 1 and keep playing the series, because Yakuza 0 was my first one, and it was so much fun. You should plug your channel for people on my channel who don't know you.
Yeah. So everyone that enjoyed my like 6 sentences between rants.
Yeah.
I'm Dan Cyber from ThatCybertChannel, where I do kind of game reviews, more scripted story stuff. So come check me out when you can. I'm gonna be streaming a lot more, and then obviously in the future, once you kind of free up after this month, we'll hop back in, and I'll know what I'm doing. Maybe. We'll see.
He's lying to you.
Yeah, I am.
He'll have played it like 20 more hours by next time, and he won't have learned anything.
Not a single damn thing, and I'll get steamrolled by India here, who's eyeing my tiny little city, I'm sure.
Yeah, I haven't declared a single war, nor has a war been declared on me. Again, this is the thing, like, I get really into it if I'm like, they're not behaving like it's the proper difficulty, honestly. Like it's like I'm on Emperor. They should be very aggressive with me. I should not have not had a war declared on me by this point. Like, the idea that a military civ like this has not declared war on me, even when I have troops on their borders, is fucking ridiculous to me. Yeah, I'll probably start the next stream with a war then, because I've already denounced them. And do I have the cast a spell eye yet? Let me check. I do not for a formal war. Pro tip for anyone. The easiest war to declare that's not a surprise war is just denounce someone or be denounced by them, and 10 turns later you can do a formal war. It's not... It takes a slight edge off the warmonger penalty, but because it's the simplest, it doesn't take off much of the warmonger penalty.
Got it.
You know, a holy war or something like that would have less of a penalty, which is if they've converted one of your cities and you founded a religion. But anyway, thank you, buddy, for watching this. We'll do some more of this again sometime soon. Until next time, have a nice day.
All right, guys. We'll see you later.